Elizabeth Lancaster is the Director of English Services Training at CBC in Toronto. She spoke with us at a Strategic Capability Network event about the CBC's in-house training program. What exactly does English Services Training at CBC entail?
English Services Training at the CBC actually has two major components. One is organizational development and the other is training. And depending on the kind of change initiative that we're involved in, we may use a combination of the two in order to help the organization really be change ready and to make sure that the training is sustainable. So organizational development, the way we like to define it is that it helps the organization deal with what's visible and invisible in order to enable change. And so what's visible might be roles, structure, workflow, planning, stakeholder analysis, and what's invisible are the mental models, the ingrained behaviors, the different personality types that also tend to get in the way. So we pull both of those together, and then what we do is we help the organization do that in a way that navigates the kind of complexity in the organization by giving a path through that. Training, on the other hand, really is taking a look at what enables skills and behaviors in order to do a specific task. And so, as we say, it's not a reward for good behavior, it's not a way of sort of making people feel good, it's actually a way to enable them to do something new. And we're divided into three different sections. One is technical and infrastructure training, the other is journalistic and programming training, and the final is soft skills and business skills training.
You mentioned that staff members act as instructors. Why is that so important?
What's fascinating and inspiring about the CBC is that it's an organization filled with people who are incredibly smart, very passionate about what they do, and highly skilled. And so when that exists, and there's great credibility in the organization among staff, leverage that. And there are staff who are natural teachers, who love to leave a legacy of learning, who love to see other people succeed. And so our role there is to make use of that and then to support it from an instructional design and skills transfer standpoint. So it's a beautiful, beautiful partnership, and we could not ask for more dedicated in-classroom trainers or e-learning instructors.
How are the more senior journalists and producers involved?
You know, they have multiple roles. So in some cases we will talk to senior journalists or producers and ask them their stories, because it's as in many organizations, but the CBC in particular is a storytelling organization. So really to get a sense of their stories behind the scenes so that younger staff can learn from them. And then sometimes we'll use them in the classroom as well. So we have a fantastic course called Radio Skills, and we'll bring senior journalists in to talk about with a piece of tape that they've done, and they'll deconstruct that piece of tape and talk about, you know, what went into making that story, what were the decisions that they made. And then the classroom participants have a chance to ask them direct questions, so to get time with them that they wouldn't normally have because they're all so busy.
What are some of the benefits of the training being embedded in the Media and Technology group as opposed to in HR?
So English Services Training at the CBC is embedded in media operations and technology, and that's a very, very large component of the organization because it deals with all the technical elements of operational elements as well as library and archives and digital operations and other things, and so it would be a very, very large client of ours. And the decision was made, I think, about 4 years ago to actually embed organizational development and training in media operations and technology. And what it did was it very quickly gave the department much more credibility because it was the line serving itself in many ways. So a lot of the hurdles that HR may have faced in the past were dispersed. And the person who was heading it, my predecessor, also had a great deal of credibility journalistically. She is a journalist herself. And so brought just a natural ability to build relationships, and B, that fantastic background and the opportunity and ability to talk the language of the organization and create training events that really made sense to the organization.